Hello, my name is Emily Schmidt. The title of my artwork is The Vision. While this name may seem like it has a deep meaning, it simply is my vision of what I thought this project would look like, and is also a painting of my eyes. This piece is an acrylic painting on wood and showcases my eyes with a bit of my hair visible that was taken at the Villa soccer team's media day. However, the original picture is a full body shot, but in this painting, only my eyes, ear, and nose are visible. This photo was picked because it highlights my many freckles and bright green eyes that complement my orange hair. I started by doing a light wash over the wood with a neutral color. I then started to block in my colors one by one. This process overall took the most time because of the various hues and tints of my skin, hair, and eyes. I started with my skin, namely my cheeks, and worked my way around it. Many parts ended up being a bit too dark, such as under my eyebrows, so the process lengthened as I continued to edit and critique it. Soon after my edits, I started to work on the irises of my eyes and the whites around it. Something interesting to me while working on this section was the light reflection in my eyes, which was visible over my pupils. After my eyes, I finished up my ear and moved to my hair. My hair overall has many different values of orange and yellow, which I wanted to be visible. Lastly, I added the depth of my eyes with a bit of gray, added my eyelashes, and finished with my freckles. It was fun to experiment with the values of colors rather than the values in blacks and whites. I like how the orange and green of the painting complement each other. This project was fun to do and create and allowed me to express my creative liberties. Some of my favorite details while creating this piece were the textures of my hair, especially my eyebrows, my eyelashes, the darks of my eyes, and the different shapes of my freckles. To start, the textures of the hair were done with a thin brush and tiny individual strokes that show the way hair in the eyebrow naturally forms. My eyelashes, while I believe could have been made longer, do a good job of showing that same idea of how eyelashes naturally form closer or further from each other depending on where you're looking. I really like how the darks of my eyes turned out. I was a bit worried in the process out of the same fear that I had when I did my other values by being too dark, but I believe they turned out pretty good. Another scare that turned out was my freckles. Ironically, I also painted them too dark in the beginning, but I went over them with a light coating of paint to dull them slightly, and I also like how they turned out. One thing that was my biggest problem was making my values slightly darker than they had to be. I'm glad how everything turned out, and I'm excited for the pieces that I will continue to work on. Thank you.